Today we're going to be talking about 6 things that I've learned in 6 months being on Etsy. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert or anything. I'm still relatively new to Etsy. There's people who've been doing it for years and years. I've only been doing it for 6 months. But there are some things that I've tried along the way that have really helped my shop, and maybe it'll help yours too. So if you're interested, keep watching. So tip number 1 is that thumbnails and pictures really matter. When I first started and I was putting up my own listings, I was pretty much trying to copy everyone that was in the category. So I'm running a sticker shop on Etsy. So what I would do is look up other sticker shops on Etsy and then see what their pictures were like and then copy them. The problem with this is that when you do that, you don't really have a chance of standing out. So if your pictures look exactly the same as your competitors, it's really easy for a customer that's looking for stickers to just scroll right past you. And this is something that you don't want. There needs to be a reason for a customer to stop on your picture and click it. So for that reason, it's important to look at what the competition is doing and try to stand out, right? So for my shop personally, I used to have pictures on a white background because everyone else had a picture on a white background. So what I did was change it up to a bright green background. And after I did that, I could visibly see on my statistics that I got more and more views. And views eventually lead to sales, which is what we want. So tip number 2 is that the number of listings you have is actually really important. I know Etsy recommends 10 listings right off the bat, and I know there have been people who are successful with fewer than 10 listings, but when you're just starting Etsy, the hardest thing to do is to get found. So that's why the more listings you have, the more likely it is to get found. And I know this from experience. When I'm personally shopping on Etsy, I have to see something a couple times before I click on it. So for example, if you're selling homemade camera straps, if I'm looking for camera straps and then I see an item repeatedly that's from the same shop, I'm way more likely to click on that than something that I've only seen once. So it's a little controversial. I know some people are saying that the number of listings don't matter, but if you only have 2 or 3 listings, those really need to be high quality listings. And it's hard to have so little listings if the niche that you're after is really competitive. So if you're able to, make as many listings as you can and add to them over time, because it's hard to do everything all at once, but if you just start adding 1 or 2 listings a week, eventually you're gonna have a whole catalog of items that will be easier to find on Etsy. Tip number 3 is that reviews are really important. When someone is shopping on Etsy and they see a whole page of different products, one of the first things that they look at after the thumbnail, of course, is the number of reviews that you have. So reviews are super important. Your goal is to get as many reviews as you can. So when I first started, it was really hard to get a review. I would pack a little card in my packaging that said, please review me. I would message them afterwards and ask them if they were happy with the product, and if they were, please leave a review, and really nobody replied. So this is when I realized I had to give something to my customers to entice them to review, because they're not gonna review on their own. So what I came up with is something called a review raffle. So every month I take all of the people that gave me a review for that month and I put them into a draw for a prize. So depending on how big your margins are, you can give away free product or you can give away a gift card to your customers. And this is a much better way to get reviews because you're giving something to the people that are reviewing you, right? So it was a really small change for me. Instead of a little card in the packaging that said, please leave me a review, I just changed the message to be, every month, 1 reviewer will be picked to win a gift card to my store. And then I just create a coupon code every month and I send it out to a random winner, and I've been getting more and more reviews ever since. Tip number 4 is to set aside funds for customer service. So when you're on Etsy, you have to remember that you're a business now. Okay, you might be a small business of 1 person, that's okay, I am too. But you have to treat your shop like a business. And to do that, you're gonna have to deal with customers. Not every customer is gonna be 100% happy with their product. Even the best products in the world, look at your iPhone or your laptop or something like that. Some people just aren't going to like the product that you're making, and that's 100% fine. But what you have to do is make sure that they're happy in the end. So maybe you need to increase your prices or lower your costs in some way, but you really need to set aside a fund for customer service. So for example, if your item gets lost in the mail, if it gets broken during transit, or if just a customer doesn't like it and they want their money back, you need to make sure that you are able to accept that return or refund them their money without eating into your profits too much. And I know it's really hard to deal with customers sometimes, because sometimes they're not reading the item description correctly, sometimes they're not following the directions that you did, and sometimes it's their fault, but you can't blame them, right? Because you're a business and businesses don't do that. And this goes back to how important reviews are. Like, every review is so important. If you get a bad review, that's gonna set you back so much. And that's kind of the bad thing about Etsy. You need to make sure you're doing everything you can to get good reviews. And sometimes that's just giving a customer a refund even when they don't really deserve it. Moving on to tip number 5 is responding to customer messages quickly. So as you know, there's so much competition on Etsy these days. And when a customer is unsure of something, they will message you. And if you don't get to them quickly enough, there's a high chance that you're gonna lose that customer to somebody else. So this one I'm personally guilty of. So the customer will message me with a question about the product and I'll take 1 or 2 days to get back to them. And by then they've already said, oh, I bought another product. So especially in the beginning, when you're not getting many sales, like, treat every customer like it's your most important customer. So if someone is asking you a question, just answer it really quickly. Like, it's not like it's after a first date and you have to wait a day or 2 before you reply to them. Like, just get the app on your phone, turn on notifications, and reply to your customers right away if you can. Tip number 6 is to not worry about the rate of sales too much. When I first started on Etsy, I think my first month I made like 5 sales in that month. And there would be periods where my sales would just stop completely and my views would stop completely. And I was wondering what's wrong. Maybe the Etsy algorithm is no longer pushing my product, and what should I do? Maybe I should boost it with a sale or something, or maybe I should turn on Etsy ads. But what I think is important to remember is that the rate in which you get sales is not in your control at all. So there might be a time where you get a sale every day, right? Every day for a week. And then you don't get a sale for 2 weeks straight. You can't control that. You can't control who is coming onto your shop and then buying items, right? What you can control is improving your shop every day so that over time, your shop is getting better and will attract more people and it will lead to more sales. So it's better to focus on the things that you actually can control, like improving your photos if you can, improving your description if you can, adding more listings. Those things, if you focus on improving them every day, every week, every month, every year, the sales will come, right? Don't focus on the statistics too much. Sometimes they can help you make informed decisions, but at the end of the day, you have to put in the work every day to make your shop better. And again, I'm not an expert or anything like that. These are just things that I've picked up after being on Etsy. I'm on the journey with you guys. I'm trying to improve my shop every day. If you're interested, I have a bunch of videos on starting your own business and my personal experience on Etsy. Please check them out. I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.